Oh, we're starting. Are we supposed to be talking right now? I don't know.
Hi, we're starting the show.
Are you sure we're starting right now?
We have confirmation. We've got confirmation from the booth. We're starting the show.
All right. Welcome to the first ever Go Day, Go Stay Home quarantine live stream. I'm Jamie Flam.
I'm Vanessa Ragland. We're absolutely feeding off the energy from our empty homes right now.
Yeah, this is, let's just put it out there immediately and just talk to, I think, what we're all feeling a little bit of, which is, how's this going to work? What is this damn thing? This is our first one. We're figuring it out. And I think this spiral that I've already got into says that we're exactly where we need to be right now for a Go Day situation.
But Jamie, I've got a question.
Yeah.
What is Go Day?
What is Go Day? Go Day is something that we do every single month at Dynasty Typewriter, which is a venue. And every month we talk to our favorite people, our favorite performers, artists, entrepreneurs, anyone that we know, love, look up to get some sort of a gleaning into how they keep productive, motivated, and happy.
You're whirling like a dervish, honey.
What's your definition of Go Day?
I think that's very similar to mine. Yeah, it's our monthly check-in with all of our favorite folks, and it's always been, to this date, a live show at the venue Dynasty Typewriter, which we'll talk about in a second. And it sort of serves as a little way to get inspiration for the month ahead. And it's our favorite thing to do at the theater. Speaking of the theater, what is Dynasty Typewriter?
So, what is Dynasty Typewriter? What was Dynasty Typewriter? It was until about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. I literally don't.
5 years ago.
We had this space, this building where people would gather together. And
humans were allowed to be together.
And they would be like literally like within a foot of each other, sometimes holding hands.
Repulsive.
But we would put on these shows and events, and people would watch them and feel the energy and connection to the performers and each other. And we sold tickets and popcorn, and that's how we kept the place open. And that was what Dynasty Typewriter was.
But welcome to a pandemic reality. We are living a life that people saw it coming a few months before our country saw it coming. But basically, this absurd reality that everybody has kind of figured out a new normal in the last 3 weeks has been affecting everyone so much. It certainly affects a venue, because it would be in poor form to have humans contacting their bodies with our other bodies. But that's all to say, even in the midst of a pandemic, and when there are a million things to be sad about and a million things to be grateful for, Jamie and I keep coming back to the phrase, which is, everything is perfect.
Everything is perfect. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta create stories in your head to make everything okay. And this has served us so well for the last 3 to 9 weeks or whatever it is. Everything's perfect. Everything's perfect. It is. Everything's perfect. I'm looking outside right now.
Everything is perfect. Why, there's nothing to be afraid of except for the virus, and unemployment and the apocalypse and what is life. There is no normal to return to, and yet everything is perfect. We're all connecting to each other in new ways. Who would have thought last month we'd all be Zoom pros? Our resumes just got stronger. So we've been zooming and booming, and we're so excited to do this first Go Day. This is our first live stream we've ever done, which is so appropriate that it's for a Go Day.
Yeah, Go Day. I mean, if ever there was a time for Go Day, which we talked about, is this really a time for all of us to check in with ourselves? Um, and I think, more than ever, we're having to do that. And so, yeah, we're so excited that our first thing as a venue, since the start, is to be able to give this show this monthly check-in, so we can all just tap into positivity at a time where for a lot of us, there's not a lot of it, and
But
we're living
Jamie,
every day. Hmm.
I've got great news.
Hmm.
We're not just going to be doing Go Day monthly anymore.
No, but it's always been monthly.
But Jamie, the pandemic has changed so many things.
Like, so what are you trying to say, Vanessa?
I'm saying I disinfect my groceries. I'm afraid of everything. And Go Day is going to be weekly.
Oh, wow. So every Sunday at 2 p.m., I can tune in here to reconnect with with us and our guests and our Go Day community.
You got it. Just be living for those Go Days, buddy.
That's so exciting. And that's true, everyone. We're going
Yeah.
to start doing this every week. And we have such a good lineup and so much great stuff today. But real quick, as we're going to start doing this weekly, we wanted to plant the seed that start tracking your goals, and any goals you want, you can put them in the comments on YouTube. That you can check in with them every month, and we're going to be updating you on what we're working on, whether it's inside personal stuff, crafty projects, finding new jobs, whatever we got to do right now.
But the finding new jobs made me want to die when you said that. But we are going to be doing great. And yeah, we're so excited for this to go weekly. And everybody that's in here, we will keep you posted on how to do that. But yeah, we're going to be live streaming and we'll figure it out. And we can't wait to figure out more ways for the community to interact too, because we've all been missing it so much. And now we're going to do something that's a part of every Go Day, which is our ceremony of incense. Now, if you guys all downloaded the smell plugin at home, you want to activate that so you'll be able to smell the incense right through your computer.
We wanted to talk about, we do this every month. This is this incense ceremony, and we talk a lot about on Go Day the importance of ceremony in our lives. I think it's more important than ever, like where these days for a lot of us are bleeding into each other, where we're in our own places and everything can become kind of monotonous. And so having these moments that we can create as often as possible, really, are just so important in breaking things up, to check in with yourself. So that is the spirit by which we do this, is to remind people to check in with yourself, set these intentions,
And give yourself meaningful time. Think about your time, even though these days can feel very sort of like gelatinous, bizarre things we're kind of traveling through. You can give yourself structure and give yourself the gift of little ceremonies. And we're going to do one right now. Unboxing vid. I'll be using one of these incense matches. It's a beautiful book of matches, a foil inlay. The flavor of the day is sandalwood. So we're just going to light a little match. And while we're doing this, we just kind of want to ask everyone to take a moment to reflect on this wild time. Congratulate yourselves for being here, doing this. It's so nice to show up. Like, this is showing up. Being here is an act of showing up and doing something. Look what I have. It's a thrill to own one of these things that you don't even have to be the Pope to get. I'm just going to shake it. So everybody take a deep breath. And we did want to kind of use this time if we're doing a bit of a casual guided meditation. Usually on Go Days, we're talking so much about goal setting, and we usually use this little meditation moment to take something that's really bothering us and chuck it so that we can be more productive. But Jamie and I have been talking so much about the sort of strangeness of this time. And today, instead of chucking that thing that's holding you back, we kind of want to release our unreal expectations of ourselves for productivity, because there's a lot going on right now and the feelings are all over the map. Everyone is grieving things, and it's just really complicated. And so there was this burst of energy. Most of our Go Day people in the audience and speakers are creators that are highly productive people, highly motivated. And when this first started, like quarantine, we saw a lot of posts about people like finishing the novel, got time to do the screenplay, no excuses. And that's sort of an unreal approach to this time. If you're already upset that you haven't been using this more productively, we just kind of want to take a moment to remind you just survival right now is productive and staying in tune with yourself.
Yeah, let go of all those things, and because we're in it with you, like especially as a business, a creative business that doesn't have a theater, and for so many performers and people that we get our energy from being out multiple nights a week, performing or watching performances, that we don't have that right now, and so it feels like it could be very overwhelming that we have more hours in a day that we might not normally have. But you know, you will trust that those things will come up, that you'll find the time when it's right. That if you have a day where you need to be with yourself, because as Vanessa said, we're literally in a pandemic, we're in a crazy time, and that alone is bringing up energy um, that would otherwise be used for a lot more, because we're also mourning, trying to stay safe and healthy.
Worrying
So
about our friends and our family and dealing with this new reality of the way we connect with people. Yeah.
so yeah, that just trusting that the pace of all of this will work out, and forgiving yourself, because we're all, I think, setting unrealistic goals for ourselves right now. And absolutely we should, if we have the time and wherewithal, be working on new projects and using this opportunity. But we'll exhale together, knowing that there is no pressure, that 99% of the pressure is coming from within and not from the universe. And amen.
Yeah, honey. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in, and then we're going to exhale unrealistic expectations. And when we do, you are going to be witnessing a classic Dynasty cruelty-free Dove release. Okay. So everyone inhale in and think of all the stuff you've been beating yourself up about. And then on the exhale, we release it. Here we go. Doves. I really hope the doves work. They work.
How do you know?
Because I'm getting thumbs up. But yeah, so just so our YouTube watchers know, Jamie and I can't see any of the graphics or anything that are happening on the screen. So this is just a beautiful act of faith in our amazing head tech, Sammy, Dan, who made this stuff, Mike, who's communicating. This is magical.
Just I need to take a second. Oh, I see the doves.
Doves.
I put music to it too. It was like a little funky didn't match up. It's called not matchup humor. So we hope that the doves made you feel released, and I guess we'll keep checking in with each other. So this next segment is called.
Oh, it's our check-ins with the quarantine tips.
Oh yeah, quarantine tips.
And I'll go up first and talk about what I've been going through. So, a peek into my quarantine life. Why not? I have a 9-month-old baby. I have a 6-year-old boy. We have a duplex with a bit of a deck situation, but no real outdoor access, which is awesome for a 6-year-old boy. Um, and John and I are still working this whole time. So we are taking shifts with the kids and shifts with working, and it's been a wild journey. But I have some quarantine tips, and I'll just talk a little bit about what our family experience has been. Um, my number one quarantine tip is behave like human beings. Now, the wheels come off when you go in quarantine. There's a world where you can eat breakfast for dinner every day, ice cream whenever, never put pants on, and be a pig man or woman. And I'm just here to say that doesn't serve anyone. But really, we usually have a pretty kind of there's spontaneity, but there's definitely a schedule. And we've done that right into quarantine, and it's been so helpful. We all get up, we do our chores every morning, we get dressed in a way that makes us feel proud to be ourselves and proud to be in relationship with each other. And that's kind of the way the whole day works for us is we behave as if people are watching because it turns out the people you live with are people and we owe each other that kindness. um, we are also really talking about what's happening in a reality with each other, which I think anyone of any age can understand. We're not living in a like a fake Disney world. We're very honest about what's going on and why this doing this might feel like a bummer sometimes, but it is such an act of kindness and beauty. And we've been making little signs that thank our mailman for coming and using art time to talk about all the different kinds of helpers that we can find and finding ways to thank people. So that's been very helpful. Another tip is, and again, I don't know if these graphics are happening. Sammy, I'm doing my best to stay on track. The other tip is be nice to each other all the time as possible. Um, it's obvious, but it's really easy when you're around each other all hours of the day and night um, to almost want to be a little bit, give yourself permission to be lazier or um, more short with each other or more frustrated. But it's the same reason that manners exist and everything else. The tone you set comes true. And we have been, I think all of us in my little family have really been making an effort to like take a breath if we're feeling frustrated and approach it with kindness. And we've talked about it a lot too, of just like we can't get out right now. So we have to do everything we can to make this in really harmonious. And the more conversations we have about that, the more fun it is to be your best self because you're like, we're kind of making our fairy tale. We're writing this together. Which brings me to my third point, which is conscious memory making. When you're a parent, and also this goes true for ourselves as adults in the world, but you are helping to focus a lens that somebody's whole experience is through. And everything you say is a part of their reality, and every way you approach something is a part of their memory and also a part of the way they view this very bizarre time. And we're in a time right now that will be in history books. And the ways to go are like they see mom and dad listening to the news too much or getting really frustrated or mad, or we're having beautiful talks about stuff and acknowledging what a wild time this is. We're all keeping little quarantine journals right now at our house because it's a historic time. Might as well make a artifact. And I keep myself up at night wondering if their childhoods are totally lost because this is such a terrifying time and kids can't go outside. And he and his neighbor friend are like screaming over their balconies to each other. And 2 days ago, he said, I'm like getting emotional just thinking about it. He was like, oh, I know what I want to be for Halloween. Oh, wait, we don't have Halloween anymore. So sad. But those are the moments where you take a deep breath and you say,
Everything
everything
is
is perfect.
perfect.
And we lean even more into making a point to make things beautiful and special and and find ways to laugh, which brings me to the next thing, which is wigs, wigs, wigs. I've got wigs, I wear wigs. We are stuck with each other unless we make up new characters to bring into this world. And so we've got mean Mrs. Grunch, who I play Mrs. Grunch, shocker. And she's that teacher that just won't let up. She doesn't like bad handwriting. She doesn't like lazy kids. She doesn't like someone who can't sit on their bottom. Mom's fine with it, honestly, but Miss Grunge, what can you do? Francie, my 9-month-old, has taken on the character of Miss Moofus, who is a senile old woman that makes it much more adorable when she's chewing on something if it's the old lady instead of the little sister. But we've found a lot of ways to just kind of make this time a little funnier and for us to laugh at each other more. I think we're at my final point, which is the 3 C's: celebration, ceremony, and cake. Those are things we've been incorporating into our life, which are daily little celebrations. My neighborhood is doing a beautiful thing where at 8 o'clock we all go outside and applaud for the healthcare workers. And it started like that. And now, 10 days in to when that started, we have like there's an applause. Anyone that has an instrument in my neighborhood comes out and plays it. There's a tuba and a drum and all these things. And then at like 8:03, one neighbor who has a big light rig and a huge speaker blasts a song that you can hear for the whole neighborhood and does a light show, and everybody sings along. And it's like the most beautiful end to the day. It makes us celebrate that we all made it through a day. It feels like we did something special, and it feels like we're taking time to thank the people that are real heroes. We've been making. Ooh, no, keep it up, Jamie. We've been making cakes on the weekend as a thing to look forward to, so the weekend actually feels different than a weekday. And doing other things like that. We have certain weekend activities that are not weekday activities from different board games and stuff like that. So just trying to create structure and magic within a sort of unchanging environment. Jamie?
Thanks for sharing, Vanessa.
Yeah, it felt very bizarre to do that in a vacuum. Hopefully that wasn't too boring.
This live stream update, from what I can tell, it's going pretty well. I want to give Sammy, you're doing great. The everything is perfect is that graphic is absolutely the perfect technical difficulties slide that we can go to. So just keep that in mind. Every time we see that, everything's perfect. So Quarantine Tips by Jamie Flam. For you, the Go Day Dynasty Typewriter audience. I'm going to take a different perspective. I don't have a family. I have a beautiful family. I don't have children that I've made with someone that I live with. And I've never put it in those terms. And I haven't decided if that's very depressing or just a fact. It is what it is. It doesn't have to be depressing. Why does anything have to be depressing? Hey, let's top into some other stuff. So you're quarantining alone. Sounds exciting, right? Sure. And the first few days, they sure were. Just me in my apartment and all the projects and trying to figure out stuff about this business that we're building at Dynasty and how we're going to trek forward. Lots of stuff to do, keeping busy, heightened adrenaline. This is going to be great. But being alone after a few days made me realize, and maybe some of you that also live alone have encountered this too, that we get so much energy. I'll talk about myself, but I do think that so many people understand this. Like, I have kind of an extrovert, introvert personality where I love being social. I love being at our theater and talking to 50 people and, being in that energy all day of, whenever we go to our job, we're surrounded by people and we're filled with energy. And that's, I know now more than ever how much energy and how important that energy is. So my relationship with my apartment, when I come back to it, is a place of re-energizing, of relaxing and having less pressure usually. But without that daily, check in with the energy with other people, I'm exposed, like, oh, this is what loneliness is. And it's not necessarily a sad thing. It's something that I've actually used this opportunity to really try to meet head on. But it's kind of a new feeling for me. And so I think there might be a lot of people out there that are feeling that as well, day after day, not having the ability to check in with other people, even with Zoom and everything. And how Zoom has changed our lives so much. And it's crazy, by the way, that we've had kind of
Paid
Zoom.
for by Zoom.
What's up?
This is paid for by Zoom.
Which is a great, there's some great packages they offer for just $14.99. All of a sudden, you're past that 40-minute limit, and because that can really put a kibosh on some really intimate connecting, which truly what Zoom is all about. Uh, so yeah, and so once you kind of realize, for me, that you don't have this energy you're getting every day, boy, does that give you a lot of time to brood, replay things from the past, disappointing things about your future plans, and it can be overwhelming. So here's some tips that have helped me. Go outside. You got the great outdoors out there. If you live in a crazy city right now where there's a lot going on, maybe don't. I think we're learning a lot of things. And actually, don't take a word of what I'm saying without consulting the CDC first. They got some great bullet pointed lists of how to protect yourself from the literal pandemic we're going through, which uh, is it not surreal every time you think about it? Sure is to me. And this is absolutely nuts what's happening right now. But actually, I live in a neighborhood where I can get out and take a walk. Uh, and of course, it's something we all know and we talk about every go day. Of course, the importance of physical activity and reconnecting with just the outdoors. But more than ever, and more people I talk to, it's like just taking that walk or 2 walks or 3 walks a day, and really going back to what Vanessa and I were talking about with ceremony and the idea of ceremony, like that is as ceremonial as anything else. That time that you're taking for yourself. So that has helped tremendously. So I recommend that. Um, then what I also recommend, if you want to kind of do a fast track into some of what is coming up, is use this opportunity to process a breakup that you actually happened 6 months ago, that you realize you've pushed deep down into the inner recesses of your entire being, with no plan of ever confronting, because why would you want to do that? Why would you want to uh, confront the deep, deep, deep things in your life that could bring you such pain? But for me, I've had no choice. And so a lot has come up. I've done a lot of journaling. I've done a lot of grieving.
But
Uh,
how is Jamie? How is everything?
it. I don't need to get into the details of this whole thing and what brought it up, but
Oh, I was just gonna set you up for everything is perfect.
oh yeah, you know what? I could use one of those right now. Yeah, and talking to your ego and all these
But
things.
Jamie, how is everything?
Oh, but everything is
Everything is
perfect.
perfect.
Everything is perfect. Hit that graphic, Sammy. So, so what I'm getting to, and whether you're going through a breakup right now or not, um, is that a lot of emotions are going to come up, and I guess they do all the time anyway. But with this extra time and some of the work I've been doing, I've been taking more time to ask, what is this? What is this feeling I'm feeling? Um, and realizing that by asking that question, and this is a pandemic tip, and something I'm learning, should be a tip for our entire lives, but really checking in with ourselves and asking, what is this feeling? When have I felt this before? Where is it coming from? And in this work that I've been doing, and realizing I'm just scratching the surface, as someone who's can be very sensitive, but also has not always been fully in touch with a lot of things. Uh, and that it's been taking me back on little journeys into the past, and helping me realize that a lot of the things I'm feeling now as an adult, are really have nothing to do with necessarily the moment that they're happening, or these feelings are coming up. They're just connecting to an incident or a past trauma. And this is, of course, not, this is not what's the word I'm looking for, Vanessa?
You're not a licensed therapist?
I'm not a licensed therapist, and this is not anything we haven't read or know inherently in 1,000 books and self-help things. But to actually finally be connecting to that, it's very heavy, but it's also it's been very helpful. And so I've distilled it down, and of course I've had 7,000 epiphanies. Um, but as we all know, it's like it's the past that our ego so desperately wants to protect, these past traumas, and it's the future stories that we're trying to write for ourselves that we don't. And that goes back to our incense ceremony. Like we tend to write these stories that, oh, we're in a pandemic and I'm stuck inside. I need to write a novel. As soon as you say that and feel that, as soon as you do anything that is not writing that novel, I think your ego's trying to scold you for that, or protect you from this future that you're not meeting. So anyway, that is all to say, and I can go on 17,000 other tangents, and now I feel like I'm gone on a little spiral on live.
Doing great. You're doing great.
No,
Our
everything's
viewers are
perfect.
worried about you. People are writing, is Jamie okay?
Everything really is perfect. What a pleasure that we have this opportunity. I guess I'll just kind of wrap this up with that thought of truly using this time to look inside, and meditate on these feelings that are coming up, and it can be very cathartic, and it can be very difficult too. But if ever there was a time to go through some difficult stuff, maybe this is it.
Yeah.
And the final like epiphany, and it's kind of related, but as I've always considered myself a seeker, and I think a lot of people at Go Day that are listening right now or watching identify with that term. We're seekers. We want the answers to the world. We want to figure things out. We're not content with who we are because we're always looking for something that we know is out there. But as I'm thinking more about these stories that we tell ourselves, that we attach ourselves to, we're attaching ourselves to this word seekers, which implies that we're not already whole, or that there's, because I really do believe everything we are seeking is, of course, already inside of us. So really changing that word to explorers or something else, because yeah, identifying with the idea of being a seeker implies that you haven't found something. But when you switch that to explorers or whatever word you want to do, it makes it more of a fun adventure, it makes it more enchanting.
And it empowers you and your kind of quest that you're on, instead of, it's like, it's not the quest for the answers, it's just looking into more.
Yeah, and the idea that when you find what you're looking for, then you will be happy.
Right.
Because we already have that all in us anyway. So more on that as I kind of unfurl that
You've got
exploration.
hours ahead of you.
We all have hours ahead of us, and that are some Jamie Flam quarantine tips.
Now we're getting into what we usually do at this time of the show is talk about denovations, which are innovations with the letter D, because Dynasty, and we are sharing things that we've done around the theater to spruce it up, improve it. We haven't been denovating the theater lately, but we have been enchanting our quarantine zones. You want me to keep talking?
Oh, that's what the graphics are coming.
We're like, how do we do this?
I think I'd dive in. So we're talking about ways that you can take your newfound space that you may be exposed to. That's not something else I've learned. As many hours as I'm spending in here, I'm just noticing all the little things around here that could use a little sprucing up.
So Jamie and I have been kind of talking back and forth. We both did take our pretty candles from the theater before we made our exit. You can see them in the frame now, but we've been trying to find fun ways to make our homes as enchanting as we feel the theater is, and giving ourselves little projects to enchant our homes too. If you get our newsletter, you might have read about my experience with the lavender plant I bought to soothe my nerves, which ended up just wreaking havoc. They want sunlight, they want water, not too much water. People say lavender is a very easy plant to care for. I've found it a journey, but guess what? I asked the plant, Jamie, after I sent the newsletter, what do you want? I had to just, you know, I've been watering not all the things, moving it around. It wanted to go outside. I left it outside for 3 days, and I brought it in for this. But she's doing so well. This is her.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. Everything is perked up. She also might have just been getting used to her pot, but basically, I love plants in general, and I've found them to be in the act of caring for them during this time. Wonderful. So if there's a plant you can bring inside, or if you have access to a garden or a plot of dirt, get in there because it's so nice to see growing things and to take care of things. So Lavidia is doing well. What else? Oh, watercolors. This is humiliating. Sammy, you got to be fast with this graphic. Fast on, fast off. I have been, I don't know even how to talk about it. I'm so embarrassing. I am a bad painter. I don't do it that much, but I've had time, and Oliver's doing art. So I sit there, and I've been really enjoying doing bad paintings, and I've tried to release, is the image staying up too long? That has got to be on and off. I've been doing some bad paintings and trying to just be fine with being a bad painter because I don't want to be a painter. I just want to have a little therapy time, and it's been great. But then when after I've had the session and I look back at what I've done, I just hang my head in shame. Oh no, I painted that? I painted what? It was supposed to be beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Nope. Your turn.
Speaking of beautiful, I've taken on a few different projects. Most of them were, I think, before the intense inner work kind of took over. The playful early days of the pandemic when everything was possible. But I'll start with Vanessa and I, we've become somewhat obsessed with miniatures. And we've kind of collected little things throughout the years, but we have one of our dreams is to build a full, entire world with miniatures, kind of like electric train worlds, etc. But I decided early on that we needed a miniature version of Dynasty so we could start putting on shows, and that is absolutely still a goal.
You don't need to say it's a goal because it's already been done, Jamie. Show them what you got.
Sammy, let's cut to what we got of the Dynasty stage miniature right now. It's definitely not pathetic and sad. It's the opposite of that. It's arguably done.
You can find it in the same museum where my works hang.
But I will say there's one thing that's not, well, I'll show you. I did start getting some things. I did, just using my hands. And that picture, there was a version before that picture you saw that where the curtain was a little more taut and it was a little bit more promising. Like, here's like a little microphone stand. How cute is that?
The microphone stand is so cute.
And what wasn't in that photo, this was before they arrived. And this is not one of those purchases on Amazon that they're telling you not to make because it's little miniature fake candles.
That's an essential need.
An essential need for a Dynasty production, even if it's small. And then the second thing I was going to show is a trailer for a movie about basically, I don't know what the intro is, but I made a little thing.
It says it all.
It says it all, but it's about what would you call it? The protagonist. Who? Thank you. I had no confidence that was coming out. So that's a victory. A protagonist that wants to save the world, maybe from a pandemic, and the cure is in a location. And so anyway, it's a very short version of a hero's journey. So Sammy, if you can cue and play the trailer for Baby Mountain. Did Sammy just come in the... Well, maybe you can figure it out, and that could be something we end with.
If
Basically,
not,
the
it's available
baby.
on our Instagram.
Just go to our Instagram. It's fine. That wasn't gonna be the highest production value element of all.
I think it's appropriate that it's not there because in a world where our paintings and the stage lives, Baby Mountain not tread. Um, oh, another thing that we're doing is this live stream. This is a Dinovation, Enchanting a Quarren Zone. We've
Well, we
been
can,
really. Oh, you go ahead.
well, I think on that thought, everything is a denovation, or if you're not with us, an innovation. But having to shut down a theater, it's the scariest thing, and we truly, don't know exactly how this is going to play out. It's scary having a staff and wanting to take care of everyone, and to have to cancel all these shows. And it's kind of removed from the initial scary part of it, but it's also scary. But there's all to say, like everyone else, we have to kind of figure out how do we survive this. And I think the inspiring or exciting or motivating part is that it is forcing everyone to dig into their creativity in new ways. So continue.
Oh, that was it. This is a live stream. So, this is one of the ways that we are hoping to move boldly into the future and stay connected and create things. We didn't want to just do something simple. And so, we worked hard with head tech Sammy and designer Dan to try to figure out what's the most dynasty version of a live stream that we can do. And it's our first foray, but we wouldn't have had this kind of time to devote to this, obviously. But I think it's a great way for Go Days particularly to happen because anyone can watch anywhere. Um, and yeah, I mean, we're excited about it, so it's fun to find new things to celebrate right now and excuses to be like, well, let's learn this program. uh Another new thing is we don't need to be a theater when we're a souvenir
Good.
emporium.
Or yeah, if you've gone to our website, and thank you to all who have supported us. But we've always wanted to be a souvenir emporium.
Always. Oh my god. Yeah.
We have so many ideas for product lines and
Everywhere.
apparel lines and
Solutions to
postcards.
everyday apparel problems.
So this, forced us very quickly to do some of the work on that, just to find, a lifeline like we're all trying to find right now, just to try to bring in any sort of new revenue stream, but embracing the creativity of it like everything else. So quick shout out to our souvenir emporium, which is online based right now. Go to dynastytypewriter.com. More info at the end of the show.
um Sammy, I'm just gonna break the wall of thing. I couldn't read your post-it note.
Oh,
Oh,
fire it off. Ladies and
touch Baby
gentlemen,
Mountain.
Baby Mountain.
Our turn to talk again. So
Yeah.
that was Baby Mountain. We know you're.
What the wait.
Oh gosh, what a treat for everyone. And if you like weird things, then you'll certainly love this next segment, which is a way that Jamie and I have been processing our feelings. When we get sick of talking to each other, we invite another friend over.
So you can cue the intro for Timothy and me.
I've got to go. Until next week.
Welcome to Timothy and me. My name is Jamie Flam, and Timothy and me is where I get to talk to my best friend, Timothy.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Trim. Welcome to our first ever live stream.
Oh no, it's stream. I can't swim.
Oh, don't worry, it's not that kind of stream, silly. It's a internet stream, a stream of mega chips.
Great with mega chips, delightful. Well, thank you for having me.
Well, we wanted to talk today because we have an audience of people that are going through, as you are, this pandemic,
Yeah,
uh, and as a scared, uh, what kind of creature are you again?
I'm a crevasse creature.
As a scared crevasse creature, um, I thought we could talk through it a little bit. Maybe you could tell me some of the things that are on your mind right now, whether it's pandemic related or otherwise, and we can kind of talk through and figure out how to handle these intense times.
Oh, Jamie, it's so nice to talk to you. The most difficult thing about the whole pandemic for me personally, I'm living in the pot, with the flowers, and it's a small world, but it's mine, and I try to love it, but I do feel lonely.
Yeah, I talked about that earlier. Like, it can be feel very lonely right now, but uh, not fighting the loneliness and embracing it, it can be, some tough stuff, but it will help you connect better with yourself. Like, this is such an opportunity to learn more about who you are, Trim.
I've learned I quite like to bite my nails.
Yeah, I think a lot of our habits or loops or vices are coming into play right now. But if you like biting your nails, there's no reason to stop.
I quite like it. They don't grow fast enough, is my one complaint.
Yeah, yeah, that's that. I bite my nails too, truly, and I wish that they would grow back quicker because I want to get in there for some more. Right?
Yes. You know what, Jamie?
Yes,
I feel lonely, but also before the pandemic, we didn't talk nearly so much.
you're right. We've had really deep conversations the last few weeks, almost nightly, and that's an exciting thing about this whole thing is that we are connecting even more. And I think that's what my mom would call, who's going to be on the show later, collateral
Oh, you
beauty.
have a mother.
Hmm?
You have a mother?
I do. Do you?
It's so nice. Oh, I shouldn't talk about it. It's so sad what I would say, but I'm glad you have one.
What? I think maybe it might be helpful for you to just tell us what happened to your mom.
There was a boulder.
All right. And what happened with this boulder?
It was much larger and heavier than my mother, so
Mm,
the rest is the story.
yeah. Well, I'm sure you have the rest of your family.
I do, but no, they've all been hit by boulders, but I do have you, Jamie.
Yeah, I am here for you, and I think it's important that you know that everyone here is here for each other, and that includes you. And I think anyone that's part of this live cast or part of the Dynasty world or community, or that's watching this right now, their heart is with you, and your heart can be with them as well.
I've been thinking about others more than ever, and I do love you, Jamie. I'm sorry if I hadn't told you before, but I really do love you.
I love you too, Trim, and it means the world. I can feel it.
I can feel it too. It makes my tail tingle.
Oh, really? Oh, well, maybe I'll be getting over this breakup sooner than I thought.
Can we do a private Zoom later?
Hey, Sammy, can you throw us into one of our breakout sessions? Uh, well, Sammy, or Trim,
Yeah.
uh, thank you so much for coming on. I want to tell everyone that you and I like to go on to Instagram Live sometimes and have some really deep conversations. So if you follow us at Dynasty Typewriter on Instagram, you can catch some more of our conversations where we get a lot more in depth.
Yes, I love you all, and even though I feel far away, I feel more together than ever because we're all talking so much. We're talking about big, important things instead of little busy things.
Mm-hmm. The real stuff.
I've got to get back in my pot.
All right. Bye, Trim. Bye, Trim.
Oh, what did I miss?
Um, a very heartfelt conversation with an old friend.
Okay, moving on.
Well, thank you all for indulging and listening to Vanessa and I get all of our stuff out. There's more later, but we have so many great guests, and we're so excited to get the guests portion of Go Day going. So our first guests, if you've been to Go Day, you've seen them before. They're going to take us on a little journey. They are two of our favorite people, and it's going to be a little bit of yoga, a little bit of sound and breath work. Give it up. I guess we're going to dive right in.
Yes.
For Rachel and Rita.
Hey guys.
Yay.
How are you?
We're
We're
well. We're
good.
so glad to see you.
I'm so glad to see you too. This is fun. All right, should we just dive right into it?
Let's
I
do
guess so.
it.
Why don't you just talk about a little bit about yourself and what you guys do?
Yeah. So I'm Rachel, and my sound healing partner is Rita.
I'm Rita.
She's on the other screen. I can't really see her. So we collaborated together about 2 years ago because we really loved the idea of having movement and sound together and the complete circle that it gives our students. And why we teach and why we do sound healing is because we love to see our students grow in spirituality, and we're always learning and just trying to give the tools that we're learning to our students to further evolve and help the planet.
We love it.
Do you have anything to add, Rita?
Yeah, it's well said. It's about a journey. Yeah.
Exactly.
We like to take people on a journey.
Yeah.
Take us away, ladies. Take us away.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna start seated. So finding any comfortable seat. If you're on the floor, fine. If you're on a chair, just placing your feet onto the floor to have a sense of grounding. Take your hands down to your knees and close your eyes. So now let's place an intention together. Focus on your heart center, expanding out, radiating over every inch of the world to create a world free from suffering, centered in happiness and joy. And as we say in this space, Rita will lead us in a mantra to invoke our inner power.
Shanti, shanti, shanti.
Beautiful. Now you can go ahead and open your eyes. And now we'll focus our awareness to our breath. So you can keep your eyes open or closed, really up to you. I like to close them to further focus into myself. And open your mouth. It's really easy. Inhale through your mouth to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, making the sound of an ocean when you exhale. Really nice. Continue on. Inhale to 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale and exhale. Now close your mouth and we'll do the same thing through the nose. Inhale to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, making that ocean sound. Exhale. Two more times. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Last one. Inhale and exhale. We'll create a little bit of movement, taking a seated cat-cow. So on your next in-breath, pull your heart forward, lift it up, gaze up. As you exhale, tuck your chin into your chest and round your spine. Two more times like this. Inhale, lift the heart, gaze up. And exhale to round. Last go here. Inhale. And exhale. Coming to a neutral spine, we'll take a twist. So take your left hand to your right knee. Take your right hand behind you. Inhale, lift up through the crown of the head. As you exhale, twist over to the right, gaze over the right shoulder. 2 rounds of breath, that nice ocean breath. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale. And exhale out. Slowly come back through center. We'll take it on the other side. Right hand now to left knee. Left hand behind you. Inhale, lift up through the crown of the head. Exhale, deepen your twist. Gaze behind you. 2 soft breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Last go. And gently come back around. Last movement we'll do is hinging from the hips. So if you're in a chair, you can still do this. Start to hinge forward. And if you're seated, you can crawl your hands forward. 2 rounds of breath. Inhale to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale. And exhale. Crawl your hands back towards you. Place them back onto your knees. Gently close the eyes. And from here, you'll have a little mini sound bath from Rita. So just trying to breathe nice and softly, easing into your body. And gently bring your hands together at heart center to seal in this mini practice. A gesture of gratitude towards yourself in this time and towards all the others that have created this space for us today. I recognize the light that lives within me, and I am humbled. And as I recognize the light that lives within you, I am honored. Namaste.
Namaste.
Hey. Oh, wait. This is gonna be so worth it. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We've been trying to master the Zoom for 3 weeks now, doing online classes.
Where else can people find you?
In this space. We are on Instagram at RACHEL BRODEUR Yoga and at Rita Sound Yoga. What we've been doing is just asking for donations for class, even $1 to help our small business. And we do every day a different kind of flow, or sometimes we do Instagram live meditations. We're kind of just exploring all these different ways to connect virtually. So yeah, you can find us on Zoom. We'll share with you the information in a little chat after.
That's great. And we'll make sure that everyone that's watching has the information.
Yes.
Maybe someone can post it in the comments as well.
Yeah.
Find it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you guys. Well, hopefully we can do this again soon.
Thank you so much. I can't not smile when the little chimes come.
Those chimes are the best.
There's that one noise and I just feel my face go goo.
We're chime fiends. What can we say?
I'm a freak for chimes. I'm a chime freak.
So did anything come up for you during that, Vanessa?
My chihuahua started coughing at one point, which pulled me out of it, and I was paranoid that everyone could hear it, and then we're also thinking it was me. But other than that, I always get to the point in anything, even a short thing like that, where I get a little distracted and I'm like, oh, I can't sit still. And then sitting through it is when you feel that big release. Or for me, like I just like sat through that moment and my shoulders released themselves, and it's such a nice reminder that we have the if we give ourselves a little patience, there's so much like ease on the other side of that frustration.
Yeah, similar for me. And I think it's obviously basically the same thing as when you're trying to meditate. But waking up to like, oh my God, I've been thinking and worrying for most of this. And then like, oh, I can break out of that. Yes. Or just becoming aware of that is the first step towards connecting back to the present.
Yes. Should we connect back to the present and have, oh, wait, Sammy, can I say, I don't need to be on screen for the dancing, because I'm realizing I couldn't be seen for Atsuko for what I'm going to need. I'm going to be doing floor work, but my computer won't go there.
Yeah, I have to go to my floor too. I have to go to my dance floor for this. So
yeah. Let's give the screen where it ought to be with the Fireball Powerhouse comedian, dancer, make everyone feel better, wonderful person that we miss seeing in person, but we're so grateful to have her in this Zoom today. So everybody get your dancing shoes on or take your socks off, because it's Atsuko.
Wow, hello, hi, how are you?
Great.
Thank you for having me. Been watching the show on the YouTube. It's been getting me inspired. Thank you for your words of wisdoms, per usual. So, today, picking back on what Jamie was saying, about having the time to look at your past breakups, and really try to process that, made me think, I've been doing that actually, feeling empowered, looking back at the past haters, ex-lovers that didn't appreciate me, you know? And so I want you to put that thinking cap on, you know? Think about your past lovers, all the people who didn't appreciate you, and say, only if they could see me now, okay? In quarantine, but looking hot, you know, looking hot AF, right? This is to all the quarantine cuties, all right? It's you're gonna do it. So we're gonna dance. We're gonna dance. So if you have space in your house, wherever you are, okay, even if it's just a couple, I don't know, a couple feet, okay, then just get up. Yeah, get up. All right, my husband is here. My husband is here to help out.
Hi.
Hi, Ryan.
Yes, we're gonna do empowerment moves, you know, just like only if you could see me now, only if you could see me now. Yeah, so it's coming up to the screen, only if you could see me now, okay? And then you're gonna show off that new hot bod, okay? New hot bod. Going over some of the moves right now, okay? All right, you're gonna do a lot of shaking your finger, okay? Shame that ex-lover, shame that ex, okay? You did not appreciate me. And then you're just gonna celebrate, okay? Because you look so good. Yeah? How do we feel?
So good.
We're gonna try it. All right. Woo! This is to all the haters. If you didn't want to see me dancing with somebody, ooh, get hot. Wow. Okay. Wow. Roar, feel the inner animal. Shake that finger, okay? No. Oh, you didn't understand me back then. Why would you now, okay? Show off your hot new body. Oh, so hot now. Okay? Ooh, break it down. If you don't want to see me, dance with somebody. Dance with your invisible new partner, okay? But you won't believe it. Oh, you're empowered now. Walk it out. Don't show up. Don't come now. Oh, grab that confidence. Help me now. Walk it out. Oh, you know how. Don't stop grabbing. Help me. Back to it. We're empowered. Okay. Shake your finger and shame them. You didn't appreciate me, okay? Now you're regretting it because I got that new hot vibe. Oh. Okay, break it down, girl. If you don't want to see me dancing with somebody, keep going. Oh. If you won't believe it, dance with your hot new partner. Oh. Don't show up. Don't come now. Grab that confidence. Help me now. Walk it out. You know how. Don't stop caring. Help me now. Okay, show that hot body. Empower. Ah! What animal are you? Shake that finger. Okay, but for real. If you don't want to see me dancing with somebody, oh, if you want to believe that anything could stop me, you should have never left me. Oh, what? Don't show up, don't come out, don't stop caring. Help me now. Go ahead now. Walk away, you know how, stop caring. Help me now. Run, there you go. Now you're a bird. Gorgeous. Other way. Now you're a crocodile. Good work. Wow. I bet all your haters saw that one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Heard that one. Think about that. Yeah.
Oh,
If we wanted, we could do another 1.5-minute song.
roll it.
Okay, but this one's very quarantine themed.
Okay.
Song that my friends Big Dipper and Tian Tran wrote, it's about flattening the curve. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Stay home, be good citizens, right?
Yeah.
Flatten that curve, but not that ass. All right, so if you want to get back up, I know you just sat down. This one's really for the quarantine cuties, okay? It's just more fun. Listen to the lyrics. They have a
message.
They have an important message. You want to flatten that curve.
This one goes out to all our quarantine cuties.
Hold on, let me try.
This one goes out to all my
Big Dippers.
We want to help flatten that curve, but not that ass.
Flatten that curve, but not that ass. Flatten that curve, but not that ass. Flatten the curve, but not that ass. You gotta eat that ass. Oh, celebrate!
Flatten the curve, but you gotta set the juice.
Oh,
you can be isolated and still maintain that blue.
rock it!
All my heroes get it, got fat butts. This quarantine is over, you know I'ma need it.
Yeah,
stay inside.
Stay inside.
The snacks are like
You're good citizen. Okay, and now.
And while we wait for the CDC to give back to us,
Foodly is Maximus.
your movie is Maximus.
What?
Stay home, don't play, keep squat.
More that.
Think about that ass.
You want to keep that ass juicy, okay?
Society is working to flatten that
This is the flatten the curve move, okay?
That's for sure. I said.
Flatten that curve, but not that ass. Flatten the curve, but not that ass. Keep it juicy. Flatten the curve, but not that ass. You want to eat that ass.
Ooh, that's a big old butt.
Okay. And that was it. I want to thank you all so much for
Can't catch the coronavirus.
being good citizens. You know, you can be a good citizen. And again, the message, I guess, from my end to you all is you can still stay hot while doing it.
We're doing the Lord's work, Atsuko.
Hey, thank you all so much. Give it up for my.
Atsuko, and how are you? Other than dancing and working on your curbs, is there anything else that you've been doing with this time, or anything that you've been doing creatively that people can see or that you want them to check out?
Yeah, I'm always, you know, working on working on my stand-up still at home. You know, you'll see me on the socials with videos that I make, mostly things that I'm eating, thinking about comedically, you know. So yeah, did that answer your question? Sorry, I am a little out of breath.
It's all good. I think we all are.
And Ryan did really beautiful work. He was a beautiful hype man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she
Oh,
said you did good too. Yeah.
Namaste, namaste.
He's going.
And give it up to our sponsor. I'm assuming that's LaCroix.
Actually, just Brita filtered water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like you were saying, all the stuff to keep busy, but also not judging yourself. If you make a goal and you're like, God damn, I didn't write that screenplay. But yeah, you got, the good news is you got time.
Yeah.
So do you want to use that time to judge yourself or finish that thing in your own time?
Mm-hmm.
Or get juicier.
Or get juicier. Yeah. There's or
Eat that ass.
Or eat that ass.
Yeah, we've got so much to do. It's hard to focus on just one thing.
Actually, there was a New York Times article. I'll sign off on this. There was a New York Times article that said eating ass actually will spread the virus. So I don't know why they got so specific with it. I swear you can Google. It says if you do oral on the anal parts, it will spread.
I think once you've said eat the ass, you don't have to backtrack and make it scientific.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, because like you can get it from kissing, but I don't know why they went. I think they wanted to.
I think you have to be closer than 6 feet to do that properly. So that might be one of the issues.
No, we've already broken the rule, you know.
By the time you've arrived, everything's out the window.
I wouldn't have predicted this line of conversation even 5 minutes ago.
No, I'm so sorry, but I think it's because it was a frequently asked question, so I think the journalists took it on. as something to report on.
That's real news.
With that said, is there anything else I should say? Like,
No, you're perfect. And we will put links in the comments so people can follow you. And we love you as a comedian and a voice in this time and a dancer and a person. So thank you for sharing your magic with us.
thank you so much. Big fan of y'all.
Big fan of y'all as well.
Bye.
Bye. Well, thank you, Atsuko. That was so much fun. Now, hope everyone's doing good and having fun. I know that we are. Are you having fun, Vanessa?
I am having fun. I'm starting to hear the children get louder out there.
Oh, and you know what? You're released from that. The children are welcome.
All right. I'll try to keep them out though, because it wouldn't be fair.
And a real quick check-in with everyone watching. If you want to put any questions in the YouTube comments for either Vicky Flam coming on later, my mom, she might have some time to answer some questions, and Brent Forrester. And we want
questions on writing and productivity, and he'll mention that. But if you have questions you want to ask Brent, you can put those in there. We've got moles everywhere. The questions will get to us.
So let's get to our next guest.
Let's do it.
We're very excited to have her. She's a Go Day veteran. She's joined us before. One of our favorite humans, one of the most creative humans we know.
Writer, puppeteer, nice person, snack enthusiast.
Absolute snack enthusiast. And so she's joining us right now. Let's give it up for the amazing Liz Hara.
If ever there was the cutest thing in the world, it was you.
Yeah, I was jealous of all the little virtual backgrounds that everybody else had managed to figure it out. So I stayed up late last night and made this.
Tell us
virtual.
Everything.
I just had a little stuffed deer, ripped the head off, and then made this background on a picture frame. These things are called like chin puppets or humanettes, but super easy to make. Highly recommend. I've just been having a good time.
Oh my gosh, I need to make one of these. Somebody's got to lose his head. That's the only sad part.
You can put it on later if you really need it.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, reconstructive surgery.
So Liz, how has the pandemic been treating you?
So I actually had what I'm pretty sure is a mild case. So I was out for a week, or super in for a week, and stuck in bed, but I'm feeling a lot better. And yeah, learned a lot about myself.
What lessons you've learned?
Actually, like I just need to have a lot more physical activity than being stuck in my bedroom. Don't necessarily like being waited on, which was kind of surprising. But my roommates were so great, like leaving me food outside my door every day. It was so sweet. I know. So you also learn like who the great people in your life are.
And how good of a cook they are.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't stop feeling this joy from looking at you. I need a miniature body under my head too.
Well, Liz, you, your career has spanned so many different things as a freelancer and a contractor and a creator, and worked in so many areas of the arts. And you said that that's prepared you a lot for what we're going through right now.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot to my freelancer friends, and it just feels like emotionally, everybody who does that kind of work is just not hit as hard right now. Like they just are used to this kind of level of uncertainty. They certainly are used to working from home and just kind of figuring out how to fill these hours. So I think that's actually a really good lesson that everybody can learn from this is like, it's all just about being really flexible and kind of getting used to this uncertainty. And I hope that people are able to kind of take optimism from that, and just know that you are going to get better at being quarantined. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you're
I
gonna get
think,
used to your patterns.
yeah, you find your shapes of the day. And I think that is true, even though, you know, financially, this is a really hard time for gig workers and freelancers. Um, these people have already been through the training grounds of how do you rely on yourself, how do you exist in uncertainty, um, and how can you be a self-starter, and those things are all right, like survival tool belt right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
all you corporate shills, it's suckers. Sorry. that
Looking
was-
at you, Johnson and Johnson employees. That's the only company I could think of.
Good. Are you looking at a thing of baby
Baby
powder?
No.
but yeah, so just kind of know that you can trust in yourself to figure out whatever is going to happen next, because all my freelancer friends have been through this. Like, you don't know necessarily how long this is going to last. You don't know what's going to be waiting on the other side, but you have always been able to figure something out. So you just need to trust in your problem solving ability, even if you can't trust in, you know, a certain outcome.
Yeah, and that's great advice for everyone that is not used to that lifestyle. That is always available to everyone, and it will take more time for the people that are used to a 40-hour-a-week job that does, is so day to day. So that's very helpful. Thank you.
And are you guys finding, like, I feel that I have been reaching out to friends I haven't talked to in ages and having so many more like really meaningful conversations with people. Have you guys found that to be?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been this space and time to connect. And also, a kind of international tragedy like this, even if we're all safe and not feeling it acutely all the time, it makes you really take stock of your life and want to reach out to the people you love. And everybody is like operating at a level of vulnerability that usually we have a million things in the day that we have to get through to get there,
Yeah. I mean, when you don't have work to talk about anymore, or just like the general day-to-day bullshit, you can really kind of start to dig in and ask each other better questions, and just find new things to connect over. It's actually like I've gotten a lot closer with my family because we've been doing regular dinners over Zoom, which has been adorable. And my dad can't really figure out social media at all, or like any kind of technology. So we only see like half of his face at any point. And he keeps just like getting up and showing his butt to the camera. It's adorable.
I just love how in tune your deer body is with your head.
How what?
You're so in tune with your deer body.
Well, I like to focus and center and just kind of be one with myself.
I think you have your new costume for every Zoom.
I know, I'm really excited. I'm going to take this to a work call on Wednesday. So they're either going to think it's really funny or I'm going to be fired.
If it's Johnson & Johnson, you're screwed.
Liz, you posted something a while ago, a call for people to make Rube Goldbergs and stuff. What other kind of fun, like, tell us about what you're doing like this?
All the kind of silly bullshit we've been doing.
Yes.
So yeah, I asked children to send me their Rube Goldberg machine inventions with the end goal of dipping soap into water. My other friends and I have scheduled dance parties kind of regularly, and a lot of trivia games. And then at home, just like making bullshit like this. And I really loved what you guys were saying about just not needing to feel like you are, like you have to write that novel right now, because we're really busy just trying to adjust and recalibrate and stay positive and frankly just survive. So I think take the time to just like do silly bullshit because why not? Honestly, like
Yes.
Why not?
This is the time where all we can do is try to stay positive. And whatever that looks like for you, if it's, you know, making tiny deer bodies or, you know, baking bread, whatever, just find your thing and have fun with it.
You're so inspiring just to look at right now with this, even like the motif of sunshine and clouds and a tree.
Yeah, that'd be nice to bring the outdoors in.
You can't go outdoors, bring the darn thing in.
Exactly.
We've always said that.
We always have.
I mean, we are a theater that happens to have lots of fake vines and trees. Well, Liz, thank you so much for joining us. Like everyone else, if there's any projects or anything that you want people to see, can we put them in the comments, or is there anything you want people to check out?
I don't actually have any projects to plug right now. When we schedule our next dance party, I'll send you guys the Zoom link.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be a good time. But yeah, that's about it.
Oh, thanks for inspiring us. I really can't wait to make a little body for my big head.
Yeah, I'm sure your kids have just a ton of
we got
stuffed
stuff we
animals
can
that you
rip
can
the
choose
head off
from.
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
To make the pandemic even more traumatic, Oliver wakes up to find all this. Sorry, mommy had a project. But you are the best. Thank you for your time and creativity. And you're always just the most inspiring person that's doing a million things and doing them all so earnestly. So thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much for doing this. It's always, I love Go Day. I have shown up to so many and I always just leave feeling just really connected. And I'm so happy with the community that you guys have built and that you're going to keep building even through this.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
You guys are the best.
Likewise. Well, enjoy the rest of your what day is today? Sunday? I guess
yeah,
Sunday.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It never mattered before.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
So give me one moment for the and let's bring on our next guest, I suppose.
Yes.
If you've been to Go Day before, this person needs no introduction. If you haven't been to Go Day, they are what we named them.
The Go Day Goat.
Yeah, the Go Day Goat, because they've literally with the very first one ever, and have been at almost every single one since. Their credits are numerous, starting with an Emmy for the Ben Stiller Show as a writer. He went on to Mr. Show and The Simpsons and The Office, where he became a showrunner and a director. And now he's
Netflix. And now, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, it's just the most insane resume if you're a comedy fan. And he's the most giving person we know. He loves giving as much knowledge as he can to anyone that will listen. And so let's bring him on, ladies and gentlemen. Brent Forrester.
I'm going to give it a second. I cannot tell if I'm on or not. I'm just going to assume I am. What's happening? What a crisis for go-getters. To have the entire world stop. There's nothing more challenging for productive people to stop like this. And so I'm talking to all you go-getters. You know, there may be some new viewers here. The Go Day show has been very interesting. Jamie and Vanessa started this over a year ago, and it always, to me, felt like this place where people who were creatively and to get excited together about the projects that they were doing. And, you know, for me particularly, I began to use this word project quite a lot in these Go Day shows, even to the point where I coined a phrase. This pad behind me will be familiar to some Go Day go-getters. This pad here, I I wrote The Project Driven Life on this pad and brought it up onto the stage because it began to feel like this sort of philosophy of productivity that I am enacting for you month after month on the Go Day. So, specifically, the last few Go Days, I've been narrating the process of trying to pitch and sell a TV show, even to the point where there was a day on stage there where I asked if anybody wanted to stay after and hear what a TV pitch sounds like, and like 45 people sat and listened to me pitch this show, and it was very helpful to the pitching. I feel like keeping you up on that narrative, those who've been following it, and catching you up, those who are new to it, will be instructive in this time. All right, so try to imagine that your friend Forrester here. I came off of running the writer's room for a Netflix show called Space Force. There's a Space Force sticker right there on the bottom of my coffee cup. That's coming out in May. All right, that ends, and now I've got this period which comes up for TV writers where you have no employment and you're going to try to sell a TV to us. And most of us as professional TV writers will never really successfully launch a TV show, yet it remains. So you're following me now, those of you who are following this Go Day narrative, as I go out there and try to pitch this show. Close to selling a TV show. It's in the vein of The Office. It's a workplace comedy, history site where people dress up like George Washington and pretend it's 1776. My friends will be very familiar with this idea. I've carried it around for a long time, but I'm so close to selling it now. I've got Seth MacFarlane's company. Audio goes out because like a message will come out, and I'll just stop talking and we'll deal with that. So to back up, I've got Seth MacFarlane's company is interested in taking this show out with me now. All right. So go at maximum level of trying to sell a show. And then, like all of us, we get this message that just everything is shutting down. Also initially reacted with a like, we're done. And what happened to me is I got an email saying, Brent, you're supposed to TV show to Seth MacFarlane's company, but no, we're done. We're closing our doors. We're not doing anything until I think May was what they initially said. All right. This was, hard for me the way it's been hard for everybody to hear this news of things. I noticed the next day, the very next day, my daughter was doing school. She's in high school and she's doing school on Zoom. So I took the initiative of Farland Company and saying, if the kids are doing Zoom, let's do Zoom. Let's try to pitch with Zoom. All right. Now this is an initiative, a phrase that I use a lot. It's an unusual thing to do. It's a thing that successful people do much more often than the rest of us. To do. Just try. They should have said it's over, but just try and claim that we're going to move forward on Zoom. Interestingly, they responded and they said, great, let's do a Zoom pitch. All right, now this sounds like a win, and it is. But I was then in the situation out how to perform on Zoom. And any of you who have tried this, it's so challenging. Even if you are a confident performer, you're performing on Zoom, you cannot see the audience. You have no feedback. And the human being, when performing with no feedback, feel like he or she is bombing. And so one of the first things you have to do is you have to develop this ability, even when you feel like you're bombing. All right. And I just give that to you as a gift for all of you in the future who will be doing business like this. We're all going to be pitching on Zoom like for the rest of our lives. All right. So that's lesson one, is just keep pretending like you're killing and get on through. All right. So realizing that I was going to have to pitch on Zoom, pitch a TV show on Zoom, try to sell a TV show on Zoom. Okay. Now, I know that something I've learned about pitching a TV show is you have to really, if you want to sell it, well, to use visuals. And this is something that many of us have discovered over the last 5 years of trying to pitch TV shows. If you bring in pictures, it really helps. All right. Now, the use of pictures on Zoom becomes its own kind of like sleight of hand magic. All right. Just watch, what I would do. I'm pitching this show about a living history workplace, and I want to show pictures that are, kind of place. So I got a picture like this. Now, just watch how I do this. I say, it's the kind of place where you might see a red coat putting mustard on a hot. This move of like to pull up the picture and get out of the frame. You notice I'm leaning like out this way of the frame. Okay, just try this at home. The first time you do it, you'll be like, I can't see the picture. And then the next time you'll be like this. This is a really creepy look for Zoom. Like you're just kind of looking over the shoulder there. All right. So, I'm practicing, I don't know, hours a day with my Zoom sleight of hand magic. At one point, I did 5 complete of the pitch just for myself, just staring at myself on my Zoom screen. That is, and if you find yourself in this situation in the modern workplace, trying to work on your Zoom pitch, and you do 5 performances of a thing, and like by performance 3 or 4, you find that you're just bombing like in a way that you've never bombed for yourself. That's what happened to me. I was just like performance 3 or 4. I would be pitching this TV show, and I would just trail off with this kind of like kind of just deep feeling of like, oh my God, and hey, that's just part of the process apparently. When I finally did it over Zoom, I was well prepared. That went great. We're going to the next phase. That I find is very encouraging for not just me. Obviously, I'm happy that I'm moving forward when I thought I was shut down, but it's encouraging for all of us in relation to our fears about the economy. I don't know, little message bar said internet interrupted. So let me just repeat that. Notice in relation to our fears collectively about the economy. The go-getters in the economy are adapting very quickly. And interesting that for me, the primary go-getters were these private schools that just went to Zoom like overnight. So, people are that things can be done. I think that the economy will change for the better in many ways because people are figuring out that they can work from home. Many writers' rooms are going full time on Zoom. The Simpsons they're doing an 8-hour day on Zoom. That's going to be interesting when people realize they can do a writer's room and somebody can be in Bolivia and somebody else can be in Maui. That's going to change things, I think, for the better. And that's very cool. All right. The project-driven life. This is a phrase that came up for me in the process of doing. I realized that I am in possession of, and also in some ways suffer from some kind of genetic cultural compulsion towards productivity, and this can be good and bad. It's good, obviously, because you can. In what sense is productivity bad? Well, compulsive productivity, in which you feel like you must be doing things all the time, obviously can lead you to be what? Avoiding of processing. Would that make sense? I think so. And I think that there's a lesson story that I'm going to attempt to tell you. And by the way, after this story, I'm going to answer your questions if you have managed to get them to Vanessa and Jamie. And I'll answer all your questions about writing, creativity, etc. in the quarantine. But first, let me manager here try to do a little story here. I have sent her a series of pictures. I'm going to lecture and she's going to try to bring up the pictures to go with. All right, Sammy, I expect that you can hear me. Let's try this. All right, on the subject of the project-driven life. All right, those of you who saw a Go Day show a month or so ago, you may remember telling the following little anecdote. I was thinking about the project-driven life. I was thinking about my dad, actually, who, he's a retired, he's widowed, and he wanted to make a documentary. And I thought, I got to remember to tell my dad, the project-driven life is this phrase that seems so important to me. The projects are something that organize our life. And as I thought about this, I couldn't remember the word project. I thought of the word product and process and purpose. And those three words came up before project. And I wrote them down in the following equation. Purpose plus process equals product. Now you can see me kind of grinning because rather contrived and corny, it's in danger of almost being phony, right? I mean, don't let your verbal improvisations lead. This is a fairly durable phrase, a durable equation I'm finding out for the Forrester method of living. The project-driven life, purpose plus process equals product. I think about it all the time. Every project that and that's something I have done only recently. I do it with the TV show that I was. Ultimately, there are many, including selfish success purposes, but also, most importantly, save the world purposes, make you happy purposes. And those motivate me very powerfully. All right, now let's talk about another project. A project doesn't have to be a TV show. A project can be anything. All right, here is a project that I embarked on. It's essentially the project of fixing a surfboard, but I went at it at a very deep level. All right, Sammy, see if you can bring up the first picture of my brother. You'll be looking at a picture of a guy who looks a little bit like me. And this was my older brother. He passed away over 3 years before. I lose track. Overly productive people like myself, we process things like loss very poorly. And the reason is because there doesn't seem to be anything productive about it. This is a real limitation. Connection unstable, said my computer. I'm back. All right. There's a limitation of the kind of cultural psychology that I come from. The hyperproductive people do not process loss. Why? Because it doesn't result in anything productive. You can see how unhealthy this would be psychologically. My brother, I never really spent any time processing his loss, but in the quarantine, I found I had time to go surfing. I decided to go surfing. If you bring up that second picture, Sammy, the sunset one, I decided to go surfing where I snapped that photo. That's the coves of North Malibu. It's one of the most beautiful places that you can find around here. And it's where my brother really loved to surf. And so going there, I'm conscious of a connection to my brother when I go to surf there. And I went out to surf that morning. I took that shot with my brother. And when I was out there surfing, I like to stand up paddle surf. So I'm paddling this very large board. And my memory of my brother, because that lei you saw him wearing, when he died, the lei was left and I took it out into the board. And I dropped the lei into the ocean from the big blue paddleboard. And so the paddleboard itself is related to my brother. All right, now an extraordinary thing happened when I was out there at this beautiful sunset spot. I'm out there thinking about my brother. And at one point, now my brother was a spiritual seeker. He had a unity, you might call it a cult. He had a leader, Adi Das Samraj was his father. believed in supernatural stuff, my brother. I do not. There's a difference between us. But when I was out there the other day paddling that big blue board, something happened which I could not explain. And it was that the board just stopped moving at one point, would not move. I'm paddling it, it won't move. And I thought it must be snagged on something. Sometimes you get your board snagged on kelp. I look back, there's no kelp. I think, is it not caught on anything? It just won't move. And I couldn't understand it, to the point where I actually thought something supernatural is happening. And I thought maybe this is because I was thinking about my brother, a supernatural thing happened. That's how powerful this effect was. No, it turns out what had happened is the surfboard had broken. The nose of the board had snapped, and half of it flapped out like that. And so I'm trying to paddle, and I'm pushing the whole bottom of the board. No wonder it would move. The board had cracked. Next photo. Okay, so you see the third photo, if it comes up, should be a picture of the blue board. And you can see that there's a big gap in the nose there. The whole inside of the nose had eroded, actually. The foam had eroded. It's basically impossible to fix this board. This is a $50 board. This would be like a $500 repair if you're gonna repair it. And here's the crazy thing. You see that yellow chunk of board that's on top of the blue board? All right, follow this. That what's left over from my dead brother's last surfboard. The one he loved was this yellow board, and that board, long after he died, and it broke, and I just kept that chunk because I didn't want to give it up. It's a connection to my brother. This chunk has a big piece of foam in it that I begin to think could be used to repair this other blue board, which I want to save. And so I begin to embark on the largest surfboard repair. I'm not very good at surfboard repair. I've never repaired anything more than about that big, but I decide that this is important, and I know it's going to take a long time. I go and visit a surfboard shop, and I ask these guys, and they say it's going to take a long time. They keep assuring me it's going to take a very long time, and I think, that's okay, because I'm going to multitask. I'm going to use this time fixing this board to process the loss of my brother. All right, so now you go to the next picture. If you get one there where I look kind of like a surgeon, I've got the mask there, the saw, and this is me sawing the foam that was in that yellow board. And look how I look like a surgeon, and I felt like one too, as I was cutting the foam of this into the flesh of my brother. It was very strong. Oh, it's so strange. Look at the next picture where you see the nose there, where I'm cutting it into pieces, and I'm creating these little chunks that I can fill in the board. If you go to the next picture, I think it's number 6 there, Sammy. I had to fill in this giant gap with these little pieces. Now, the whole time I'm doing this, I'm listening to John Coltrane's Love Supreme, which was my brother's favorite music. He loved Coltrane. He was a sax player. What is so wrong with this? Productive boy is getting his time. If you just keep going, 7 and 8 there. Look at 8. 8, I'm filling in the nose there. And then you can see I'm sawing the nose in picture 9 and adding other layers. And by the picture 10 and 11 there, I finished fixing the board. It's now seaworthy. All right. So it's not beautiful yet. I plan to paint it yellow and black, that nose, to remind me of my brother's old board. But the board is now able to that place with the sunset. I can go back now, and I can have that experience again of paddling and thinking about my brother. And so I've come to this nice sense of completion. All right, now this, I hope it's inspired someone out there who's thinking of doing something similar, some project that has some strange meaning and also psychologically valuable to them. This is been a different kind of project for the quarantine, I think, but it seems to have taught me some lessons, and I hope it's given you some as well. One more thing I'd like to share with you before I take some questions is look at how this shot is composed. want to sell a TV show on Zoom, you compose your shot very nicely. I spent hours on the lighting there to try to get the Emmy in the background, like just with a little shadow and the whole deal. So I'm very proud of that. Have your Emmys in the background of all your Zoom shots. I say that jokingly, but seriously, put something cool back there. It'll help you. All right, now it's time for question and answer. Let's see if we can somehow relay a question to Forrester. I can look at chat here. When you're thinking about questions, by the way, keep in mind that as I started on the Ben Stiller show where I won my first Emmy. I worked on The Simpsons, King of the Hill. I was the showrunner of Love on Netflix. And obviously I spent 7 seasons at The Office. Oh, what? All my credits are on this mug? Yeah, they are. Because my dad made this mug for me for Christmas. And I told him I'm going to use it to sell a TV show. So hopefully that's working for you. Looking down here. Question related. Hold on. Look at this. Question related to the non-self-judgment theme. Any questions for putting together a realistic creative work schedule during the pandemic? From Emily Popper. Hi, Emily. Oh my God, I'm so happy to connect with you over Zoom. This is fantastic. Oh my God, it's so challenging to work alone. And this must be remembered by all creative people. It's hard. They put people in solitary confinement as punishment in jail, and we do it to ourselves to some degree when we dare to be entrepreneurs, writers, artists. I find key for me in productivity is deadlines. There are obviously 2 kinds of deadlines. They're the ones that are just with yourself, where you just write on your calendar, I'm going to get this done, this. Even when you don't hit them, you'll hit them 25% later than you said you were going to. But even the fact that you wrote it down on your calendar, you're gonna be more. It's just with yourself. More powerful is the deadlines you have with other people. So anytime you can reach out to a friend, you're a good writer, Emily, and you got a lot of good writer friends, I'm sure. You reach out to them and just say, hey, I need help. I need a deadline. I need you please to listen to me pitch you something, read something of mine. That's always a big favor. Use people as deadlines for sure. With this Zoom pitch that I've been doing, I reached out to a lot of people. And by the way, not all of them said yes to my request to Zoom pitch to them. 2 of 4 people that I reached out to said no. And that's interesting, isn't it? It was hard. I didn't expect that. And I was like, gee whiz, Your connection is unstable, according to. So that's my answer for you, Emily. It works. It absolutely works. And it's a cool tool too, because it allows you to connect with people, and people like to do favors for each other. They really do. You ask for a favor, people like to do it. All right. Good luck, my friend. You're killing it. Okay. How does Brent stay focused with all the distractions going on? From Lisa for Brent, what is your from home workspace after last 2? How does Brent stay focused with all the distractions going on? Well, I think that if you're a creative person, you do like your creative time very much. You would be very, very unhappy. And, an hour of creative time is a wonderful thing. 2, 3, sometimes when you're really in a project, 4 hours with your work can be wonderful. There's a phrase, paddle wheel of days. That was a phrase from the fiction writer John Irving. He talked about that feeling that you get when you're working days, the paddle wheel of days. So it's not hard to get motivated when you are in that kind of flow. Short of that, an hour of creative writing is very, very enjoyable. And, if you can schedule that for ton of distractions. My wife is wonderful, and my daughter is too. And so, especially in quarantine, I think my inner child is quite needy of attention, apparently. So it's helpful for them that I go off in the garage. What is your from home workspace? So I move from space to space. Okay. And that is very useful when you're doing projects for long periods of time. I mean, I'm into my spaces, man. I got a lot of them. I'm in one now. Project room. I named it that to inspire my daughter to do projects. I thought if I call it project room, she'll want to do projects. But I like to do projects in it, and that's what I do. I love writing in this room, but I switch. I switch often. A thing I've been doing lately that is really enjoyable is I write in a room that can be closed off from all outside light, and I light some candles, and that's it. Just sometimes also a little, atmospheric music, but little for me to feel like I'm in some kind of ashram. Candles do it very quickly. And by the way, 2 candles is all it takes for me. And I'm like, whoa, this is groovy. So that's one for me for sure. I'll write outdoors too. I'm lucky enough to have a backyard, so sometimes I'll quite a lot now as a man whose spine is degenerating apparently year after year. Standing up works great. I highly encourage you. Just put a freaking. I have a fancy desk. All right, that's it, people. I'm supposed to tell you that after this, I will answer the rest of your questions next week. It's gonna give yourself a break from productivity, but it's also a great time to be writing. Take inspiration. Transitory crisis. We will come out so much stronger. I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Take it away.
Thanks so much, Brent.
Brent, always the best, always the most inspiring. I cried during the surfboard story.
I was gonna say it's given the not ideal connection, internet connection, the fact that even 25% less hearing what you're saying, that you could still be the most inspiring person is a testament to how much great stuff you have to share.
Yeah, and it was kind of a combination of things that we've all been talking about. But I love that idea of, if you are processing something or you're finding things that are coming up, to find a project to pair with it. Is like a really therapeutic, productive, makes you feel like you're not wallowing or wasting your time, and will also probably help give you a sense of completion. So thank you. Yeah.
Just on that thought, I was so inspired, just the idea of like, it doesn't feel productive to process things. And I think just identifying that is so critical for all of us, for anyone, that feeling, it's not right, or it's not a correct feeling, that because it can be the most, if not the most productive thing you can do. So thank you just for even planting that seed. It's so inspiring.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
So thank you, Brent Forrester. Hopefully he will be back next week.
It is Easter. We don't know how that affects Go Day people. If it does, we don't have a read on that. Let us know in the comments if Easter Go Day is a no-go. From our understanding, the Bunny and Lord is the earlier.
Yeah, you can do we don't know. We'll find out.
We're into ham time right about now. I feel like this is prime ham time for an Easter celebration.
Well, we're hitting the home stretch. Thank you guys so much. I think as we're learning with everything, and it's a lesson we'll learn time and time again, but as people that want to speak, these things go long. And we'd love your feedback. Maybe being in quarantine, you like a longer stream like this. So your feedback would be great.
Thank you for your patience. Jamie and I went really long at the top of the show, but it was very therapeutic for us. So hopefully it helped you guys too. We've been so cooped up, but we will work to improve this. And we have a final speaker that we are very excited about.
These things go long. And we'd love your feedback.
Oh, I heard an echo of Jamie.
I heard that too. You know,
Um,
everything's perfect.
everything is perfect. Shall we bring on our final guest of the day?
Yeah, hopefully she's ready and here to go. But put your hands together, everyone, for my mom, the wonderful Vicky Flam.
Excited about
Things go wrong, and we'll also.
Mom, I'm pretty sure that the echo is you. If I had to bet.
I heard that too.
My guess is that you have YouTube open and the Zoom.
Everything is perfect. Shall we bring on our final guest of the day?
Yeah, hopefully she's.
I think my mom is
ready.
watching
I'm
YouTube.
here to go, but I'm
Not on Zoom.
putting your
This
hands
is interesting.
together,
This is
everyone,
fascinating
for
to
my
watch.
mom, the wonderful Vicky Flam. Things go wrong, and we'll. Mom, I'm pretty sure that the echo is you.
I don't know how to mute my YouTube.
You just got to turn it off. Just turn off the
You
YouTube.
don't need YouTube. Shall we bring on our final guest?
Turn it off.
Yep.
I think my mom is.
I turned it off.
All right, great. We got through it. Hi, Mom.
Hi. I love you all. Thank you. This has been so enchanting. First, I want to give my beauty tip, a very quick beauty tip, Vanessa. I want you to notice that since we last spoke, I put my earrings on. And that's very important because if you don't keep your pierced earrings on, your ears are going to get holed up.
Oh.
Okay. And we're already holed up enough. We don't need more things holed up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I also want to do my one more little push here. I said before, I think it's not politically correct to say anymore, thank God it's Friday. So we now have a new meaning for it, and that's the government is fucked. With that in mind, I wrote a closing poem for Go Day, and it goes like this. Hooray, hooray, today's Go Day, enchantment's home, Dynasty's way. We're all invited, all excited, here as one, undivided. Creative way, a new live stream reaching out a flarpin' dream. Here we connect from COVID attack, a new and blessed side effect. We have our Brent at this event, a Dynasty staple, heaven sent. Rita and Rachel sounds in yoga to get our butts off the sofa. Sounds profound, fortes abound, offer gifts to feel spellbound. Atsuko too helps us move to sway and dance, stay in the groove. LIZA HARA also here to entertain, to puppeteer. We know depression, no immune suppression. Go day, a place for self-expression, keeping us sane, Dynasty obsession. Feeling vulnerable, thoughts unutterable, fears at times bared to insufferable. Fragility's not a new disability, but a breeding ground for new humility. Insecure and all unsure, we will survive, we all will endure. Here to inspire, Dinah Strong to take a break. So take a break and come along. Wait, last page. Dynasty cares, Dynasty prayers, reminding us all not to despair. So open your heart and open your mind and open your heart. Go Day is here and ready to start.
Oh, Mama Flam.
Mom, that's so
Poet
good.
laureate.
I was inspired to write.
You've got time on your hands.
I love you all.
We love you.
Do you have any advice from your time in quarantine, other than earrings?
Count to 10 before you open your mouth. Count to 10 before you scream at them.
At who?
Oh my God, is that Oliver? Get dressed in the morning. Stay beautiful, because you still have to look at yourself in the mirror. And I don't know about you, but I've been washing my hands 35 times a day, and I have to look in the mirror every time. So I might as well look at something beautiful, huh, Mike?
Speaking of beautiful, my dad, everyone.
Oh, Papa. Frank.
And Oliver's in the house. We have two new guys.
Everybody.
This is a family show now.
It's family time. Show.
And you're actually the one that made us probably have to put an explicit 18+ thing on this.
The explicit what?
Francie's coming in. The whole show's off the wheels.
Oh. And Sammy, you were so nervous. And Sammy, you were so incredible. Kudos to you. Pats on your back.
Oh, look at Francie and Oliver. You guys are live
Aw.
with 10 million people right now.
You made them.
I made these people.
You made them.
They're
And you made
nuts.
me.
We did such a good job, everybody. Jamie and I just have a few thoughts to close it up, but this has been so awesome. And Vicki and Frank, as always, thank you you are the most supportive people on the planet. And you know what? Even when you're locked in your homes.
Would you like to turn on? I think she's shy or something.
A little shy.
Well, thank you, Mom and Dad. Thanks for watching. And we're going to wrap up the show now.
Thank you for your offering.
Thank you for yours.
And I just wish Postmates would deliver weed. That's all I have to say. Bye.
Mama Flam out.
So let's get to the, I guess,
final
wrap it
notion.
up. Oh yeah, final notions. Let's get that final notion slide going.
And
We got
going, and so we're just going to leave you guys with a few things to be excited about, including we are working on a zine called Interest and Enchantments, and we are so excited to be offering that to you soon. So if you're not on our mailing list, get on it. Goodbye, Oliver. And we've been working on this zine with contributions from amazing talent that we love working with. It's going to be chock full of funny stuff and weird stuff and tips for a happy quarantine and recommended watching and listening. So keep your eyes out for that bad boy.
we also, as we mentioned before, and we're going to show some slides, but as we are a full-time theater for gathering people and we can't gather people, we are trying to be creative in how we can continue raising money so that we can pay our staff and keep our doors open so that when we get out, we can continue doing what we love the most. So if you go to dynastytypewriter.com, you can see we have all sorts of t-shirts, some of our classics. We do have Go Day apparel now, which we're super excited about, and a couple of what we think are and hope, and the feedback we've gotten is they're all tasteful approaches to pandemic-themed gear.
We've got your SoCal distancing shirt, which has been a runaway hit. Show your quarantine lifestyle with pride. People will see it and know that you're respecting the safety of the world. California style, which means we're laid back. We also have a beautiful shirt, Quarant Queen and Quarant King. These shirts can be worn by absolutely anyone that is the leader of their domain. So get your gear on, honey, but you don't have to be naked on the bottom because you can pair it with our beautiful backup joggers. If you have to leave the house, these joggers send a clear message that people should stay at least 6 feet away.
And we got mugs and totes and everything you can think of. I mean, that's what we have, not everything you can think of. Yeah. We have very specific and limited offerings.
We have stickers and notepads and pencils. But yes, check it out. We are enjoying having the time for Dan to put into beautiful, beautiful designs for this stuff. And every purchase helps us get through this bizarre time. So no pressure ever. But if you are feeling like you want to support us, that's an easy way. The next Go Day is going to be same time next week, 2 p.m. on next Sunday. We're so excited. We will keep you posted with how to join us for that. And we want to introduce our staff.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, we have so many thank yous, and we're going to start with our wonderful staff, like all of our full-timers. You know, this has become the number one thing we've had to work on, but to make this happen, I think our first live stream was a success. I think there's some things and tweaks we need to make, but overall, I think our ambition to make it feel like there was production value and a little something more than you can get in other places, I think we executed, and all our guests were so wonderful. So, Sammy, if you want to bring, I don't know whatever way is easiest for you, whether it's one at a time or everyone at once. We'll just kind of see what you do.
We only have Mike and Sammy right now because Dan and Mary are up in that YouTube life. But you guys,
I think we're gonna say the same thing.
Oh, you can say it.
Well, I was gonna say, so give it up for Dan, who created all these graphics and has helped so much.
Dan Fazio, he's amazing.
And of course, helping with all of our merchandise as well and our website. He's a vital part of our Dynasty team, and we couldn't have done this without him. Also to Mary, who's all the way in Chicago right now, and she is just helping with all of our box office related issues and booking.
Service, organization, keeping us sane, staying on top of it. Mary is a cool cat.
And talking to you all in the YouTube chat room too. So give it up for Mary. And now, who do we see on the screen?
We would love to bring up Mike and Sammy for a hello and thank you, if you're comfortable with that.
And before that, real quick, Sean, who's been such a help on the business side for us and navigating how we all do all this stuff. But I believe, hopefully he's here taking notes so that we can put together a really nice little PDF that distills down all the things we've learned today. So shout out to Sean. And now, who's in the room?
We got Mike and Sammy. Sammy and Mike, our dream team. Sammy has been our lead tech, and they have mastered all the things in the theater and in the space. We'll welcome a pandemic because now they know how to live stream, honey. Thank you, Sammy, so much for the research and execution. And I know none of us could do it without sweet Mike Mac. Mike Macalusa, our AGM, our cheerleader and supporter. You've been hanging out in the comments. You've been hanging out here. You've been fielding comments from your dad on a computer. I took a peekaboo of
he loves the movie The Stupids.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
We love you guys, and you are thank you for making this happen. And I'm glad that we get to introduce people to you more than we sometimes do at a Go Day.
And truly, I mean, to all of our team and everyone watching, it's like the reminder we talk about every Go Day of diving into things. Like, I think we had to dive into this. We had more ambitions than I think we could have, but this week testing it out, and now we've done it, and that's all you could ever do. Take what we've learned, keep making it better, but truly this was so good. And I realize I'm reacting to Sammy's reaction on YouTube from a minute ago.
Well, we love you all, and we were gonna do an ending thing. Do you want to do that, Jamie?
Oh, well, I mean, before we even do that, to everyone watching, our deepest thank you. Obviously, we can't do this without you. And I know a lot of you are regular Go Day attendees. Thanks for your support. If you bought tickets, that helps us so much. Please tell your friends. And even if you did, I mean, and of course, like, we want this to be free for anyone that cannot afford it. We're in such interesting and crazy time. So Go Days will still be free for anyone that's having any sort of financial difficulties. And to the people watching also that, we closed our doors, I think almost 3 weeks ago. I literally don't know, but
yeah, 3 weeks ago.
Within 48 hours, we had so many people from our community reached out, have helped so tremendously with donations and buying stuff. And it really keeps us going. It truly does to know that we have this vibrant community that's more than just people that like comedy, which is also great, but that care about each other, care about humanity. And that's why we exist. And a reminder too, sorry, but like, we didn't build Dynasty just to be a theater. Anything that we're making, whether it is writing a script or building a company, it's about what our mission is and what's behind it, and what is our intention behind it. And our intention goes again beyond just being a venue for people can gather. It's to enchant to inspire, to bring magic, to remind people about all the magic in the world, and to really connect. And so this opportunity to find the new ways, it doesn't change who we are or what we want to accomplish. And I think for you as well, really think about the core of everything you want to do. Even if you can't perform right now, even if you can't make exactly what you want, just tap into the feeling first of what you want to give to the world and to others, and let that guide how you spend your time and your thinking.
Beautiful. I think that's perfect. Yeah, we've had so many deep connections and talks over the past few weeks about this just being a way to shine a light even more obviously on the things that matter to us and the people we are in the world and how to be better versions of those people. So taking this time as an opportunity for improvement and kindness and connection is a unexpected and weirdly packaged gift.
And now I think we'll finish with this incantation that you can all repeat after us if you'd like. And then we'll end it from there. So everyone repeat after us. I am a good person.
I am a good person.
I will be reasonable,
and kind and respect the boundaries of others.
I will be reasonable and kind and respect the boundaries of others.
I will be
okay in my space. I'll do it.
I am patient with myself and the world.
I'm patient with myself and the world. I'm thinking about all those going through this around the world.
And at the end of the day, pandemic aside, there is nothing to worry about because
everything is perfect.
Go into your lives with gusto, our friends. We love you.
Love you so much.
Bye. Is it over?
I don't know.
Woo!